So just start by letting the shoulders fall open, let the head fall back in this Shavasana, resting onto this small pillow or block, letting the heart start to open. We've been talking a little bit about different yamas from the yamas and the niyamas. And the yamas are basically ways that we can take yoga off the mat and out into the world. And today's is Asteya, which also, which translates to non-stealing. And I was looking back in old yoga notebooks, and I had found, I used to often drink tea that had this little message on the tea bags, and it said, uplift everybody, uplift yourself. And I thought about how these two things were really important right now in this current time. And then I really started to see how these two things are actually one thing. Because when you have the opportunity to uplift those around you, you uplift yourself because it feels good. And when you take care of yourself and uplift yourself, you are a better person to those around you. So non-stealing really means making the most of each moment and not letting some of these things that have been stealing our attention and maybe forming a unholistic perspective in our lives, and instead really focusing on what's important. And I have found that this time has really allowed me to do that. So I feel like it's a really perfect way to dedicate our class today. So I like to take the idea that if you imagine what would happen if each time we took something, we gave something back. And thinking about dedicating this practice, maybe you can send this energy that we're cultivating together to someone who really needs it, a place that really needs it, or maybe you can set an intention to help uplift yourself in some way, something that you need to focus on. And maybe it's as simple as staying focused on your breath. Maybe it's staying present in the moment and not moving to the next thing you have to do today, and just really honoring this space and this time that you've created for yourself. So I'll give you guys just about 5 more rounds of breath in this Shavasana laying posture to just really close the eyes, settle in, breathe deeply, and connect with an intention or dedication for your practice today. And on your next breath, you're gonna just sort of wiggle to the side so you can pull out that pillow or block that's behind your shoulder blades, and just let your back connect with the mat, but continue to feel the shoulders melt into the mat and feel your chest broaden. Let's take another breath there. And on your next inhale, you're gonna open the arms all the way up, reach the fingertips, reach the toes. So you're stretching like you're waking up in the morning. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, you're gonna curl into a tight ball. So you're gonna bring the knees into the chest. If it's available, you might even lift the shoulders up, tuck the chin in towards the knees. Inhale, open. We're gonna keep moving with your own breath here. Exhale, curve and round, but push the tailbone down. Tuck the head in. Inhale, open. Optional to bring the head up, you can leave it on the ground. Exhale, pull the knees in tight. Give yourself a really tight squeeze. Inhale, open. One more time, let's exhale, close, nice tight ball. Now let the feet drop down. So the feet are gonna land right behind your bum. Let the shoulders come back down. Plant the hands next to your body. And as you inhale, You're gonna lift the hips off the ground as little or as much as you like. And then exhale, lowering down. Keep the core engaged, tailbone tucked. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Try to keep the knees over the ankles. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. We're gonna do 3 more. If you want it, bring the arms into the mix. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more round. Inhale. Push the hips up. Exhale. You're gonna bring that right knee into your chest. Let the left leg go straight. Really pull the knee tight into your body and just give the ankle a couple circles in one direction and the other. And then switch the legs. Really mindful movement here. So this leg, right leg's really active. Pull that left leg in. The right leg is flexed. Left foot is flexed. Very, very active even though we're on our back. Give that ankle a couple rolls in one direction and the other direction. And then we're going to start to move this with breath. So we inhale, switch legs, exhale, hold. Inhale, switch legs, exhale, hold. Inhale, maybe start moving with each breath. Exhale. You can stay right here with shoulders on the ground. If you want to add in a little core, you can lift the shoulders up, activate the core. Notice that my leg that extends isn't touching the ground, it's just staying about an inch off. Both feet are super active. Keep moving with your breath. Don't worry about keeping up with me. Move with your breath. Let's take 3 more. Maybe you can lift up a little bit more. 2. Last one, both sides. 3. And then lower the head down, hug the knees into the chest, just rock side to side, massage out the lower back. Deep inhale. All right, we're gonna bring the hands behind the knees so we can roll up to seated, but you can always just push yourself up. If it feels okay though, you can rock it out a little bit. All right, coming up to seated, we're actually gonna just right away roll forward into our tabletop posture. So we've got hands over shoulders, hips over knees, pushing firmly into the hands. So if we start to just kind of sink, we lose that activeness. And we want our eyelids of our elbows to face one another because then my shoulder blades broaden, triceps come out, all right? So really active, you can push into the tops of the feet here. And let's come into our cat-cow. So as you inhale, you drop the belly, look up. As you exhale, curve the tailbone, push up, tuck the chin. Inhale, sink down. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, push up. 2 more breaths. Move with your own breath. You're gonna hear me say that a lot because I mean it. One more. Inhale. Lift that chin, open the throat. Exhale, curve and round, coming back to neutral. So now we're gonna move into puppy pose. So that means your hips stay above the knees and you just walk the hands forward and you drop either the forehead or the chin, and you're really working on trying to bring that chest as low as you can without sinking the hips back. So keep the hips nice and high, sink it down, gaze forward if the chin is on the ground, forehead's just as good. This is really good for opening our hearts, opening our chest, stretching out the shoulders. Next inhale, we're gonna pull with the hands so we can come back forward, and we're gonna come all the way through onto our bellies. So I'm gonna face you guys. We're gonna come into Sphinx pose. So you're pushing into the tops of your feet still, so much that your knees lift. Elbows are gonna be directly under your shoulders. Opening the heart once again, your chin is parallel to the ground. You're pushing into the pubic bone so that your lower belly starts to lift off the mat. Core is engaged. Imagine if someone's wrapping around front and back of the core, and then you're pushing into the hands, the forearms. Should feel a nice broadening here. We're just gonna take the gaze over the right shoulder, warming up the neck. Trace down all around the chest. Bring it over the left shoulder. Bring it back. Trace it down, roll it down. Bring it back up. Coming to center. Keep pushing into that pubic bone, lifting. We're gonna kick into that right foot. Now this might be plenty of a stretch for you. I feel this come into my lower back pretty much immediately. If you've got a little bit more range of motion there, you can bring your left hand across the front, reach that right hand back, and see if you can grab the top of your foot. You're continuously pushing in, engaging the core, still pushing into the top of that left foot. We're gonna slowly release that, taking it to the other side. So I'm planting my right hand kind of at a diagonal. I kick into that left foot. Maybe I just stay here. Maybe I can reach back. And I'm maybe pulling into the foot, but maybe kicking into the foot, if that feels okay too. One more deep breath here. Exhale, release. We're going to push back just to release that back bend, coming into a child's pose. Bring yourself back, sink the hips. Connect with that intention once more before we begin to flow. Next inhale, we're going to come up to downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet. Take any movements that feel good to you. Maybe you want to open a hip. All right, and then slowly work your way into some stillness in your down dog. Let the heels sink. You don't need to touch. You're working on a straight line from your wrist to your tailbone. So if your back is pushing this way, bend the knees so you can release the chest down. You don't have to have straight legs and back. All right. From here, we're gonna play with a little balance and twist. So you're gonna take your right hand to either your left shin, your left ankle, or the left edge of your foot. Keep the neck nice and long. You should feel a nice stretch through that left IT band. Release that hand, take it to the other side. You can hold on to the shin, ankle, or foot. Keep the chest lowering towards the ground and coming back into your down dog. Make sure the feet are about hip distance, so not too wide, not too close. Inhale to the tiptoes. Exhale, step to the front of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Hands can be on the shins, the thighs, or the floor. Exhale, fold down, tuck the chin. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up to the top. Press the hands together. As you exhale, lower the hands down. So we're standing in mountain pose at the top of our mat. We're gonna come into our Surya Namaskar A, or our Sun Salutation A. We'll flow a couple of these together. Inhaling, stretching up nice and tall. Exhale, hinge at the hips, crown towards the ground. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step walker, float it back. You can drop the knees here, lower yourself all the way down. Inhale, push the shoulder blades and elbows together, cobra. Exhale, lower yourself down, then maybe pushing through the knees up. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Taking 3 deep breaths here. When we come into these postures of stillness, really focusing on that intention, focusing on that dedication, trying to keep the gaze in one spot. Yoga usually becomes much harder when we stop moving than when we move. All right, inhale to the toes. Exhale to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, full, tuck the chin. Inhale, arms all the way up to the top. Exhale, hands to heart center. Round two. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, swan dive down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step it back. Maybe you can keep the knees up. Elbows stay in tight as you lower down. Inhale, push those elbows together, shoulder blades together. Cobra. Exhale, maybe you can push up without the knees. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog, 3 deep breaths. I'll give lots of options. Take what's right for you. Connect with that breath. Deep breaths. Next, inhale to the tiptoes. Exhale to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, crown to the ground. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Round 3. Inhale, up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step walker, maybe float it back. Exhale, lower down, maybe to our chaturanga. Inhale, maybe adding upward facing dog, knees and thighs off the mat. Exhale, push the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Let the heart melt towards the ground, bend the knees as much as you need. Work on that straight line. Release the neck. Connect. Inhale to the toes. Exhale to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bring it all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll do one last round of our Surya Namaskar. I won't verbally cue, and everybody can take it at their own pace with their own breath, their own style. As you're ready, inhaling. Take your time to complete that third and final round, and as you do, just bringing the thumbs to the sternum, pushing the palms together, closing the eyes, feeling the heartbeat, connecting with your breath, connecting with that intention or dedication. We'll begin to flow together once more. Inhaling up. Exhale, hinging down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step walker, float. Lower yourself down. Inhale, cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're gonna continue a bit here with our warm up. Inhale that right leg up, 3-legged dog. Stay here for a whole breath so you can feel that stretch. If you want a little extra play here, we're gonna try to bring that left hand back to tap. Whoop. Tap 2, tap 3. Inhale here, exhale, step it through, coming into a nice low lunge. We're gonna stay down here. If you want, you can tuck your mat and drop that left back knee and be right here. If it's available, you can keep that knee lifted. Inhale, sink the hips, lift the heart. Exhale, straighten both legs, push the hips back. Inhale, sink it forward, knee can be down. Exhale, straighten, bow that head over the front leg. Continue moving with your own breath, warming up the hips. All right, we'll all meet in that low lunge. You're gonna plant your left hand next to your right foot. Inhale, right hand up to the sky, coming into a twist. You can stay right here, you can tuck that arm back and behind to work on that heart opener even more. One more deep inhale. Exhale, both hands forward. Push the hips back, both straight legs, walking ourselves around to the middle of our mat. Wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, either stay right here or start to try to lower the forearms towards the mat. Doesn't matter where you land, release the neck, release the head. Maybe you want to grab opposite ankles. You can reach the hands through to pull the head down towards the mat. Don't worry, it's not how low you can go, it's how much can you release. So each exhale, talk to those muscles that are trying to stay tense and tell you to go upright. Try to release them. Inhale, we'll all come back up to that half lift. Exhale, you're gonna go to the back of your mat. Don't worry, it's the same thing other side. Inhale to open. Exhale to straighten the legs and push back. Inhale, sink those hips. Exhale, push them back. Keep moving with your own breath. Try to focus on keeping your ankle, knee, and hip in the same alignment. So when you come forward, that left hip doesn't jet out to the side. You stay nice and aligned. All right, well, inhale to come forward. Plant that right hand. Inhale, left hand up. As you exhale, option, you can tuck that left hand behind the hip and feel that left shoulder peel open. Gaze can look up if it's available. Deep inhale. Exhale, both hands back. Straighten the legs, we come to one more wide-legged fold. Maybe you can heel-toe the feet open a little bit more if it feels safe. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Release, let gravity do the work. Take your arm variation of choice. 2 more deep breaths here. Bring the hands back. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, back to the front of your mat. Step it back to plank. You can choose just to push to down dog, or you can add in this Vinyasa flow. You can always skip this, or you can add it, making it your own. All right, inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out. Let's take one more of those. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, right leg rises. As you exhale, step in between the hands. This time we're coming to a high lunge. So if you feel like you're going to be off balance, like on a tightrope, just heel toe those feet a little bit further, wider apart before you come up. Even once you're here, if you don't feel stable, heel toe, make the stance less narrow. Once you're here, fire up that back leg. So trying to straighten it as much as you can, and then trying to lower to get the knee over the ankle. From here, you've got a couple options for arm variations. You can just push the hands together in a prayer pose. You can have the arms up overhead, or if you want to continue with that chest opening, we're going to interlock the hands together to open up, or you can grab opposite elbow if this interlocking isn't available for you. Lots of options, all right? So if this is available for you, we're gonna inhale and tease just a tiny bit of a back bend, but it's more about opening the chest, and if it's available, gaze up. It'll challenge your balance. One more deep breath here. From here, you're gonna step your foot in just a tiny bit so that the heel can connect with the ground. So it's more into a short warrior one stance. You're gonna inhale, peel that heart open, and then as you exhale, you're gonna humble warrior, which means we bow down and try to bring our gaze to that back left toe. So if this feels really challenging, you can rest on the top of the leg. If you can go a little bit lower, you're gonna try to get your right shoulder to connect with your right knee. And the knee pushes into the shoulder and the shoulder pushes into the knee. You release the head, you gaze back, you fall in love with your left big toe. Try to bring the palms together instead of splaying the wrists out. All right, we're gonna inhale up all the way. Exhale, coming into humble warrior. We're just gonna do this one more time. Inhale up, challenging our balance, our leg strength. Exhale, down. This time we're gonna inhale up, arms up, splash it up to the sky. Exhale, hands down. Step it back, flow or not to flow. Downward facing dog is where we will all meet. Pedal it out, shake it out. Take a couple deep breaths. And we'll take it to the other side. So inhale that left leg up, three-legged dog. Try to sink that right heel down, push into both hands, and then gently come out of that right hand a little bit, see if you can tap one, tap two. Find a drishti or focal point, tap three. Inhale here, exhale, step it through, preparing for your high lunge. Maybe heel toe those feet a little wider. Bring yourself up. Fire up that back leg like you're pushing through that heel into a wall. Sink it to knee over ankle. Choose your arm variation. If you're gonna come back and interlock, put the awkward thumb on top. So do the opposite of what you did before. Push the hands together, pull the hands down towards the tailbone, open the heart. Sorry, we need to step that foot in just a little bit so that we're in warrior one, the heels on the ground. Inhale, open. Exhale, hinging down. Coming into that humble warrior. Maybe you can connect left shoulder with right knee, go a little bit on the inside, drop it lower, looking back to that gorgeous big toe. We're gonna flow here, so inhale up, open the heart, gaze up, exhale, lower. Just two of these. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, all the way up, release the hands, splash them up to the sky, stretch it up. Exhale, hands down, step it back to plank, flow or push back, downward facing dog. Once we hit our down dog, we're gonna walk the hands back, coming into a forward fold at the back of our mat. This is a little bit of an active rest. So we're bringing, hands can come to the elbows. And you can ragdoll and kind of hang and sway here. Or if the wrists need a break, you can bend the knees a whole bunch, bring the hands under the feet, coming into gorilla, and then if you wiggle your toes, it'll give your wrist a little massage. Just catching your breath. Taking big, what I call stethoscope
breath, so you're breathing like the doctor's telling you, so we can hear the breath get all the way in your back. Breathe into your back body. One more deep breath here. Release the hands. Walk ourselves back into downward facing dog. And we'll start to add on a little bit. So inhale that right leg up. Exhale, come to step in between the hands. Bring yourself up for that high lunge. Interlocking the hands if it's available for you. Dropping that back heel. Opening it up. Exhale, coming down into our humble warrior. Inhale it up. Exhale, humble warrior. Inhale it up. We're going to release the hands. We're going to come into warrior three. So lots of options here. If you've got a warrior three practice and you're strong and you're ready to go, go for it. You might drop the hands down first and kick up that back leg. You might be able just to kind of airplane arm it. Maybe you want to bring the hands to heart center. Maybe you got the hands down but you want to play. Try to lift one up. Whatever you're doing, that back foot is active, okay? We're trying to take one more deep breath here in warrior three. With total control. Lowering that back leg down. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, hands down. Step it back. Flow or not to flow. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, side out. One more deep breath like that. Left side, then we'll take a quick break. Left leg up to the sky. Exhale, step it through. Preparing for that high lunge, finding your balance. Interlocking the hands, or maybe grabbing opposite elbow. Step that foot in. If you're grabbing hands, put that awkward thumb on top. Inhale, open that heart, slide that fist down. Exhale, humble warrior, bowing. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale, release the hands. Find your warrior three. Back foot is flexed, back toes point down. Super strong standing leg. So many variations for your hands. Play with it, find what's right for you. One more deep breath, you got this. Slowly, with control, stepping it back up, open to the sky. Exhale, flow or push back. Once we all hit that down dog, we're gonna widen the knees, toes together, sink the hips. Settle in to a really wonderful child's pose. You can have the hands outstretched, or if you want to have a more relaxed one, just wrap the hands back behind and just let your body weight fall. Reconnect with that intention, that dedication. Staying right here in our child's pose, we've got a third and final flow, standing flow of postures, and it is always optional, as is everything. You probably have your video off and you've been in Shavasana this whole time. Excuse me. So you can, if you want to flow one more round, we'll add on. So what we're going to do is we're going to play with going from that humble warrior into a warrior three with those hands interlaced, totally optional. And then we'll come into a little seated twist,
standing splits. Don't worry, I'll walk us through it just so you can prepare the mind about where we're going. So we'll come into our downward facing dog if we'll take this third flow. Inhale that right leg up to the sky. Exhale. Come to step it through. Prepare for your high lunge. Maybe you can sink it a little lower this time. Then stepping that foot in a little bit. Finding interlaced fingers or opposite elbow. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, bowing down. Nice and low, gaze back. Inhale, bring yourself back up. Exhale, sinking down low. Inhale, up. This is where we're gonna move to warrior three. On your exhale, coming into that warrior three, maybe you can keep the hands together, push the palms together, lift the fists, fire up that back leg. You can always take your own arm variation. One more deep breath. And we'll all lower the hands down to the ground. Bending your back knee. This one's always a little tricky. Slowly coming down to the ground. Back knees behind front leg. And then bum sits down. And I have found myself in a seated twisting posture. So if you're not there, go ahead and find it. Right leg's on top, left leg's on bottom. So inhale that left leg up, or left arm up. And then as you exhale, you can either hug that knee in, or maybe you can tuck that elbow, push into that backhand. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Couple more breaths like this. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Last one. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Inhale, release the hands. Coming back, hands are in front of us. We're gonna fire up this right leg, okay? So come up onto your left knee. We're here, push into those hands. Inhale, all the way back up, standing split. So basically warrior three, where you just try to kick that left leg as high as you can. 2 more deep breaths here. Try to drop the upper body towards that leg. Maybe you can play with lifting one hand, maybe both hands. Deep inhale here. Exhale, drop it back to a low lunge. Step it back to flow or not to flow. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale, left leg rises, last side. Exhale, step it through. Prepare for that high lunge. Fire up that back leg, knee over ankle. Find your arm variation. Step that back foot in just a bit. Drop it down. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, humble warrior. Squeeze those palms together. Inhale, up. Exhale, humble. Inhale, up. Preparing for a warrior three. Your variation. Slowly with control, 3 deep breaths here. Fire up that back leg as if it's pushing into a wall. Toes are pointing down. 1 more, you got this. Release the hands down. Bend that back leg. Slowly tuck it behind the front leg. Coming all the way to sit. We're in our twist. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, either tuck or hug. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. 2 more breaths like this. Engage the core to help you twist deeper. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale to unwind. We press the hands down to help us come up onto that right knee. Push into the hands. Fire it up. Coming into standing splits. Just looks like warrior three, but your leg's as high as it can go. Fire up that nice, strong standing leg.
Maybe you can bring the upper body a little closer, like a one-legged forward fold. Maybe you can bring one hand to the back of the calf, or just bring the hands closer to the feet. Maybe both. We'll all plant the hands, exhale, step it back, last flow, or downward facing dog. Exhale, and drop it down to child's pose. Take 5 deep breaths here. If you need to grab some water or towel off, this is a good time to do that. All right. Couple more deep breaths. I'm gonna move my computer. Let's try. All right. So you can come up from your child's pose just to sit on your knees. We are going to come into a back bend. Sorry, trying something new. Into camel pose, okay? So for camel pose, you have your knees nice and close together. You're sitting on your heels, but then we're gonna come up. But the legs are still, there's not much space there, so we're not wide, just straight from your hips down, okay? Now from here, you might be able to tuck your toes. If you get pain in the knees when you do that, you can tuck your mat, okay? It feels a little better for me. From here, you're gonna put your hands to your lower back, okay? And you're trying to bring your elbows together as much as you can, all right? From here, bringing the hands up maybe a little bit higher, you're gonna just drop the head and feel the shoulders peel open, all right? Engage your core. You might just stay right here for a few more breaths, or if it's available, you're gonna start to lean back to find the heels. Now this is intense, so feel free if this doesn't feel good, come back up to the original posture. Keep broadening the heart, broadening the chest. Don't completely drop the head, just looking up. One more deep breath. And we're gonna slowly bring one hand back up, the other hand back up. Slowly sit back onto the heels, just neutralize for a few breaths here. If you have your mat tucked, you can untuck it. And then we're gonna gently sit back into child's pose once more. Just taking the opposite measure after the back bend, we go into the forward fold. Nice and gentle though. Maybe sway side to side. Nice. We're gonna take one more round of that so you know what was good for you. You don't have to come down to the heels if it doesn't feel great. And if you're not coming down to the heels, you really don't need to tuck the toes either. So if you've got any knee issues, you can just stay with the toes here too. If it's available, you can tuck them, push the hands into the lower back. Really think about trying to push the elbows together, shoulder blades together. Inhale, start to drop the head, open the throat chakra, open the chest. Maybe you stay right here. Maybe you can play with one side for a little while and then the other. Maybe it's both available. Keep pushing the shoulder blades together, elbows together. 2 more deep breaths. Slowly bring one hand back up, the other hand, and then we come back to sit on the heels. Untuck the mat, neutralize just for a moment, and then you can fold forward into that child's pose. Breathe deeply into that mid and lower back. And then we're slowly gonna come back up. From here, we're gonna do our inversion. And you have
lots of options for inversions, of course. We're gonna try for a tripod. Try for a tripod, get it? We are going to, I'm gonna walk you through that. All levels can do this, I promise you. If you have never done any sort of headstand before, it's gonna feel awkward on your head. And it's gonna feel, it might feel what you might think is, some might say painful, but it's really just you're introducing your head as another limb to your body. That being said, if you just wanna bring your hips to the wall and bring feet up the wall and just relax there, that is a great inversion to do. If you have a shoulder stand practice and you'd like to take that now, otherwise I'm gonna offer something new for our group. So that's why I brought you over here. So if you'd like to try tripod, you're gonna sit, and I don't know, what is this, maybe 2 feet from the wall. And we're just like we were for our camel. And then you're gonna bring the hands to the ground. I've doubled up my mat as you might want to, just because your head's gonna go there. I actually don't like to do that only because my head is used to being another limb. So, but just an option for you if you want a little extra padding there. Okay, moving on. You're gonna plant the hands as if you were in plank, okay? So they're right under your shoulders, and then you're gonna drop the crown of your head to the ground. Now, there's just a couple of inches of space in between my head and the wall, and that's fine. But what we wanna take note of is the 90-degree angle I'm making with my elbow, arm, wrist, okay? So from here, this might be where you stay and you just keep pushing into the hands and you feel this minimal pressure on your head, okay? And this is great. Option, next level, level up. Straighten the legs like you're in a little modified down dog. You are officially in an inversion here because your hips are higher than your head. You can stay right here. Level 3, play with tapping the knee to the back of your tricep. And you'll start to feel a little bit more pressure on the head. Now, important, keep the shoulders away from the ears, keep pushing into the hands, maintain that 90-degree angle. Level 4, told you there were lots of levels. Bring that knee up. You're gonna notice this leg is not just flopping around, it is super active. My core is engaged, so I can bring the next knee up. And maybe you stay right here. All right, I'm lengthening my neck, I'm pushing into my hands, my feet are pointing and active. All right, maybe then you can play with trying to get the hips over the shoulders onto the wall. All right, then maybe you can lengthen the feet coming into tripod headstand. All right, if you're here for the first time, it's gonna feel like a lot of pressure on the head, but I promise you, you got a thick skull. All right, so you can try to stay for 5 to 10 breaths, and then you can come back the same way you got there. Coming into that tripod, stepping down. After any inversion, we wanna take a little child's pose to let the neck neutralize. Taking a couple breaths here. I'll give you guys another 30 seconds or so you can play with your inversions or enjoy the legs up the wall or whatever it is that you've invited yourself to enjoy today. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you find that child's pose after an inversion. You can just kind of press out the forehead on the ground here. Okay, and then we'll slowly come up, all right? So we're gonna come onto our backs now. If in the future you'd like to do your Shavasana with legs up the wall, stay near the wall. If not, you can return to anywhere in the room. We're gonna just come into a twist, okay? So coming back onto your back, you're gonna open the arms out to a T, bring the knees into the chest,
and then let the knees fall over to one side. It's a weird angle. Plant the hands, all right? Gaze over that opposite shoulder. Keep pushing that left shoulder down towards the mat. Maybe you can use that hand to help the knees come down. One more deep breath. And release. Inhale through center. Just rock side to side a little bit, massage out the back. Let the knees fall over to the opposite side. Gaze out over that opposite hand and close the eyes. You can use that left hand to keep the knees down. Try to work the right shoulder down to the mat. It's okay if the shoulder or the knees lift. Just try to release tension in the glutes and the hips and the neck and the shoulders. And clench your jaw. Starting to cool down. Next inhale, coming back to center. Give your knees a tight squeeze, and then bring the bottoms of the feet together. So you're like in a butterfly pose. All right, and pull the feet towards you, push the knees away. One last little inner hip stretch. From here, you can find a happy baby or any final postures you'd like to take your body through before we come into Shavasana. So I'll give you guys about a full, let's go for 10 rounds of breath, almost a full minute to take any last movements or find your space for your Shavasana. Our Shavasana is just lying on our back, and if you have those pillows around, it can be really nice, release on the hips to put the pillows under your knees in Shavasana. So I'll offer up that as well as we start to settle in. All right, so as we find our Shavasana, take just a couple deep inhales through the nose. Exhale, side out. Release any tension you're holding in the ankles, the calves, around the knees, traveling up to the thighs, the glutes. Let the breath return to a natural state so you can release the entire abdomen. Let the chest and shoulders drop into the mat and relax all the way to the fingertips. Release the neck, the jaw. Release all the tiny muscles in your face, around your eyes, your brow, out to your ears, and all the way up to the crown of your head. Let your breath flow naturally, and use the tools of the breath, the dedication, maybe a mantra or just your intention, keeping it close by so that when the mind inevitably wanders, you can keep that bigger purpose with you. Honoring this most important pose of our practice, surrendering to doing and simply being.
Gently begin to deepen your breath. Gently strum your thumb across your fingertips. Begin to wiggle the fingers and toes, pointing and flexing the feet, rolling the wrists. Eventually, on your next inhale, bringing the arms up overhead, lengthening the legs and stretching fingertips to toes. As you exhale, bring the knees into the chest and rolling on to your favorite side, pausing in the first posture our bodies ever knew. Taking a moment here to reflect on someone or something that fills your entire being with gratitude and joy. Allow that feeling to radiate out into the world. And as you're ready, keep the eyes and body restful. Gently bring yourself up to a comfortable seated posture. Bringing the palms to heart center. And we'll begin to rub the palms together, generating heat and energy. And then bring the palms to cover the eyes. May we use this energy to see the beauty within ourselves and within our world. Bringing the palms together once more. This time we'll cover the ears. May we use this energy to hear positive thoughts about ourselves and the world we live in. One more time, generating that heat and energy will cover our heart. May we use this energy to live our truth and find the beauty in all living beings. Inhaling the arms up overhead, gathering this energy we've cultivated. Exhale, bring that energy down to the heart. Namaste.